Get this meeting started. It's our elected officials meeting. Today's date is January 15th, 2025. The time is 9 a.m. In attendance are Commissioners Eberline, Duncan, and Matari, and our elected officials. We have Jennifer Locke here, Clerk, Sheriff Bob Norris, Treasurer Matheson, and Prosecuting Attorney Stanley Mortensen. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. Public comment? Hearing none. We'll move on to business. Item number 1, new liaisons for elected officials. It's a discussion item, and Commissioner Duncan.
Yeah, I'll just start us off, but Chair Matari has district judges and the treasurer. I have the coroner and the sheriff, and Commissioner Eberline has the assessor, the clerk, and the prosecutor. And with that, again, if you've got something that needs to be on an agenda, you've got some procedural question, something like that, or you just want to let somebody know what's coming down the pipe, you just reach out to your liaison. But it in no way inhibits contact from other commissioners or other commissioners reaching out to any elected official. We want to encourage very much free-flowing, or at least I do, information, and it's just a way to not bombard one commissioner with all 6 elected officials reaching out to just one. So with that, again, I'm just here to help, and I'll be reaching out to my elected officials and seeing how they would like to be contacted, and we'll work out a good system there, so make it as easy and painless as possible.
Does anyone have any comments, thoughts, concerns? No? Okay. We'll move on to item number 2, Admin Building Deputy Security Officer Update. Commissioner Duncan.
Yes. Treasurer, I just want to know, has it gone well? Because I think you've actually had a couple, maybe both collections since we had this discussion last time, or at least this.
Security, yes. We haven't had any issues that rise to the level that would require any kind of armed security. So, as I've said in the past, it's kind of one-offs. And so far, we've had 2 collections with no major concerns. Some elevated voices, disgust, displeasure, things like that. But
I would like to thank Sheriff Norris, because the sheriff's office has been able to send deputies for the day before collections and the day of collections. So whether that made a difference or not, we'll never know, but it makes our team feel more comfortable. And so thank you very much.
Yeah, so that was just my follow-up, would be that during those weeks that we have had a deputy present, so that's good. I know there was some concern about Coeur d'Alene PD not responding, but I know Undersheriff had reached out to them just to make sure nothing had changed, and they know that this building is in their jurisdiction, and that if we have an issue, that they will respond. So unless, Dyson, you had anything else to add, I think at one point you were going to find out how many instances that the motor vehicle licensing had.
Yes, so we did look into that. I have a report from my manager down at DMV for Coeur d'Alene and Post Falls. In 2024, we had one more right on the 30th. We had 6 incidents where we needed to call Coeur d'Alene Police Department to help with the situation. So about every other month, we're having to call them down to help regulate some kind of situation. That's not to say there isn't a lot of interactions that go that way. People aren't always the happiest to be in the DMV. But as far as rising to the point where staff feels vulnerable or like things could escalate further, we've had 6 of those in the last year.
But you felt that those 6 times Coeur d'Alene PD responded and the situation was good?
Yeah, it seems like the response has been clear. I think we had one incident where it got back and forth, which is where that came from. But going forward, I think it's been pretty clear, and we've had law enforcement arrive and be helpful every time that we've had, as far as my report is concerned.
Great. Well, if anything changes, let the board know and we can take it up again. But right now, it sounds like we're doing pretty good. And in June, we'll get that deputy out again, and sounds like it's good. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? No? All right, moving on to item number 3, review of 2025 Juneteenth Day and Juneteenth and the day after Thanksgiving holiday schedule. It's a discussion item. Commissioner Duncan has this listed here.
Yes. So the board's requested that every January, people or the elected officials departments make a selection if the elected officials feel like this is solid and they don't want to change in the future. We don't have to keep bringing it back to the board every January. But if they feel that they want that flexibility, then I think it's a good time. We still have not heard from several departments. And so if we can get that information to, I think Leanna's been collecting it. And then that way we can get it to the auditor's office and to HR to make sure that they all know well in advance who will be here on Juneteenth and who will not. And I think that's about it.
Yeah, and it may be worth just in the future that, because we have to do this in policy every January, is just no word means no change. That if you want to change it, give notice. Otherwise, if we don't hear from you, we're going to keep whatever you put together.
Whatever last year's was.
Yeah. Any other comments? All right. On to item number 4, elected official protocol. Sheriff Norris.
Yes, we recently had a incident where a elected official spoke in front of a entity regarding the purview of that elected official. So I guess we're all one team here, and if I am going to speak about the prosecutor's office or the clerk's office, I think in the spirit of cooperation that I should let Stan know, say, hey, I'm going to go speak about this, even though it's under your purview or Jennifer. So I just think it's a basic courtesy for us elected officials to work together and work in harmony with each other. Anybody have a opposing view of that?
Any other comments, thoughts? Boy, you guys make it easy. Public comment. Any public comment? Hearing none. 9:08, meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Even shorter than yesterday.